Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we dive into the world of tech, explore coding tutorials and unlock your creativity with web development tips. If you are passionate about building amazing apps, staying ahead in the tech game, or turning your ideas into reality, then you are in the right place. Here you will find step-by-step guides, practical examples and pro tips to level up your skills. Before we dive in, take a second to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest content that could take your skills to the next level. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Alright, let's jump right in. In today's video, we are going to create a web scraper using Playwright and Python. So today we are diving into web scraping using Python and Playwright. We'll be building a web scraper to extract products details from Jumia website and save them in CSV or JSON format. By the end of this tutorial, you will understand how to use Playwright for web scraping, how to extract products details like title, price, discounts, images and links, how to navigate multiple pages to scrap them, how to save the data in a structured format. So if you find this helpful, please make sure to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more awesome content. Now let's jump right in on what we are going to build. First, this is the script that we are going to build. So let me run this script so that we can understand what we are going to build. So the scraper will go to jumia.co.ke, then search for our query and then scrape multiple pages. So maximum of 5 pages. You can see it is scraping on our page 2. After page 2, it will go to page 3 automatically, page 3, and then it will go to page 4 and then page 5, and then save that content in a CSV file or JSON file depending on which output format we had defined. Okay, so if we go back to our terminal, you can see scraping page 2, page 3, page 4 and the last page. And after scraping, it will show us how many products it has scraped, and then data saved as gas cooker products.csv file. Remember, gas cooker was our query, and then CSV file. So if I go back here, we will be able to see the products being scraped. And then at the header, we have the title, price, discount, link, images, and all those 160 products are right here, are being dumped here. Okay, so you can see we have 160 products. Okay, so this is what we are going to build. So without talking too much, let's jump right in. Okay, so meanwhile, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also turn those notification bell so that you don't miss any of my content. So before we do that, let's now set up our environment for creating that scraper. So the first thing that I normally do is to ensure that you have an isolated virtual environment. For you to create a virtual environment, ensure you have Python installed. So to check if you have Python installed, for those who are using Linux, you can use Python, then say V, capital V, Python, not Python. So you can see my Python, my machine is running on Python 3.1, 3.2 version. So ensure you have installed Python. If you haven't installed Python, visit python.org, and then they have instruction depending on your operating system on how to install it. So once we have confirmed that we have Python installed in our machine, the next thing we need to do is to create a virtual environment where we will install the dependencies of this project, which is isolated from the system's virtual environment. So to do that, I will create virtual environment, say Python. I'm using 3.13, so I will say 3.13 VNV, venv, that is virtual environment, and then give it a name. I will give it a name.env. You can give it any name that you want, then it has been created. The next thing you need to do is to ensure that you activate this virtual environment. So let me deactivate it first. Now once we have created our virtual environment, you can see we have this virtual environment created. Now we need to activate it so that we can install our dependencies in it. So we can say source and then virtual environment name. Our virtual environment name is .env and then bin activate. Once you activate, how do you know that you have activated your virtual environment? The virtual environment will be shown inside these brackets. If you see this, then you have successfully activated your virtual environment. If you don't see this, then you haven't activated your virtual environment. This is very important. You can do some research on why we use virtual environment. Basically, we use virtual environment so that we can isolate the environment of a specific project with its dependencies installed in one place, rather than installing the dependencies of a project in a global environment, which will create some conflicts. Okay, so let's start step one of creating our scraper. So the step one is to install dependencies. So we'll make sure that we have created a virtual environment. Now we need to install Playwright and async.io. So to do that, we need to install this one, pip install Playwright. Give it some few seconds to install. It has installed, and then next we install that Playwright. So we say Playwright install. Give it some few seconds, it will install. So this one will install the Playwright and their required browsers. Now, once we have done that, we have clear with the dependencies. Now let's create our scraper. Not here. So let's call it scraper.py. Now let's start writing our script. So now we have created a Python file called scraper.py. First thing that we need to do here is to ensure we import the necessary modules. So to do that, we need to import async.io. We just installed it, and then we need to import CSV. Remember, we are going to output our data in various forms. So the first one is import CSV. We are going to output our data in JSON file, so we need to import JSON. So import JSON, and as well we want to use Playwright. Okay, so we will say from playwright.async API import async Playwright. Okay, so basically here we have imported async AI. This will handle asynchronous programming, and then we have CSV and JSON. This will help us when saving data in these two types of format, that is CSV file or JSON file. And then we have this Playwright. This will allow us to control the browser programmatically. Okay, you remember on our demo, our script had to open the browser, so this is where Playwright comes in. Okay, and then after doing this, now we move on to step 3, where we will define the scraping function. So to do that, we'll say async, say def. Let's define our function. Let's call it scrape Jumia, and then we will pass in. It will take 3 parameters. First parameter will be our query, so we'll say query. Query is like a product name that we are going to search. So I'll pass in query, and then we will pass in a parameter output format. Output format. For now, we want to output format to be CSV, and then we want to pass in the max pages, number of pages that we want to scrape. So you will find that whenever you search a product, you will have more than 1 pages because it will have paginations. So we want to say scrap a maximum of 5 pages. Okay, so this is our function scrape. Let me say pass. So this is our function scrape Jumia, and it takes 3 parameters. The first parameter is query, the product we are searching for, that is what we are going to pass in. And then we have the output format. This will help us have a file format, which is JSON or CSV file. And then we have max pages to 5. These are the number of pages to scrap. And then it runs synchronously to handle browser interactions. Okay, so once we do that, now let's launch the browser and open Jumia. So we are going to launch that browser. So to launch that browser, we need to write this. We will say async and say we are going to use async Playwright async with async playwright, calling that function as p, and then we'll use try and accept block. So let me pass this for now, say accept, pass this as well. Now inside our try, we are going to launch the browser. So let's launch launch the browser. So to launch the browser, we'll say browser equals to await. We are going to use async playwright as p, so we'll say await p.chromium.launch. so we are going to pass in headless to be false so that it can help us for debugging. So we say headless to be false, and then we need to say page equals to await, and then we say browser dot new page, and then now we need to open the link to our Jumia website. So we'll say await page dot go to, okay, and then we pass in the link to the website that we want to open. So in this case, we are going to open jumia.co.ke. so https www.jumia.co.ke. Okay, so this is the website that we want to scrape. So we want to open this. So basically what we have done here, this async playwright function will help us start playwright, and then we have p.chromium.launch headless. So these launches have visible browser for debugging, and then we are using this go to function to navigate to Jumia's homepage. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is step 5 is search for the product. We need to create a function that searches for the product, which we will input our query, okay, and simulate the enter function. So below this, we need to wait for the search input and enter the query. So we'll say await page dot wait for selector, wait for selector, and then the selector. So we are going to get this selector from the website. So I'm going to copy this link so that we can go to homepage and show you how to get those selectors. So here, so we visit Jumia. Let's go to Jumia. Here is our search bar. So we are going to go to inspect. Right click on your mouse and go to inspect. Once you inspect, click here, click select an element page, okay, then hover that search bar. You can see it once you click on this, it highlights on the other side. So this is our search bar element. You can see it is an input with the name Q, okay, an input with the name Q. So these are very, very important. So we want to grab the name Q and then the input element. Okay, so let's go back to our selector. So our selector will be input, and then that input has name equals to Q. Okay, so if we go back to our website once again, you can see we have the input, and you can see when I hover this, the search is highlighted. So you can see that, and then it is an input and with the name Q. Okay, so that is why we passed in that Q here. Okay, so that is how we are going to grab that input and say await. Now we want to fill in our query. So we say await page dot fill, and then we want to pass in the query to this input. So we'll say input and then say name equals to Q. Once we do that, and then we pass in the query, we say query. So the query, as I said earlier, the query will be the name of the product that we are going to search. Okay, so basically what we have done so far is launch the browser and go to the search bar, and then pass in the name that we are going to, the name of the product that we are going to search. So it will be populated on the search bar, and then now we need to simulate the enter automatically so that we can search it. So await, we say page dot press, and then we say input, and we pass in the name equals to Q, and then we say enter. Okay, so once we have populated the name of the product in our search bar, we need to enter. We are simulating the enter key of our keyboard so that it can search. So basically what we have done here, wait for selector function. This ensures that the search input is loaded, and then we have the fill function here. This fill function, it enters the search term. The search term is the product name that we are going to search, and then we have this press function. This simulates pressing enter to search. Okay, so now let's move on to step 6. the step 6 is to extract product data. Okay, so to extract product data, we are going to write something. So first we need to wait for the results to load. So we will say await and say page dot wait for selector. I will show you again how we are going to get this selector from our website. Okay, so here the selector, we want to get that product card, all of that product card. So let's go back to our site that we are going to scrape, and you can see this is our product. Let me search. Let me say something like Huawei phone. So we have Huawei phone. You can see each product has its own card. Okay, so you can see each product has an image, has a title, has the price, has the rating, has these buttons, you see. So we are going to grab the entire card. So what I will do, I will click here so that I can see. I want to get the entire card, not only the image. So I'll scroll up and see we have, you can see here's the product, we have the entire card. Okay, so the product here, we have the entire card. So it is article, so you can see the article has the entire card. So we are going to grab that article, and that article, it has a class PRD. Okay, it has a class PRD. So we are going to grab that article dot PRD. You can see here, let me zoom in so that you can see. So you can see here the article has a class PRD. Okay, so this is what we are going to grab. So that will be our selector. So we will say article dot PRD. Okay, so that will be our results, and then we will initialize an empty list, which will be our products. So we say products equals to an empty list. There is a reason why we are doing this, because we want to append those products that have been scraped to this list. And then let's say page number to be page number 1. Okay, so here we wait for the product list to load and create an empty list to store the products data. And now we want to loop through the pages and extract data. Okay, so that is what we are going to do here. Now, looping through the products to get the data. Okay, so here we want to loop through page numbers. So we will say while page number is less than the max pages or equals to max pages. Remember, we had defined our max pages here. We want to scrape through 5 pages, and then let's have this. And now let's have a print statement, say F, and say scraping page, and then we pass in the page number. And next we wait for the product element to be stable. So we say await page dot wait for selector. Okay, remember our selector for our product was article dot PRD. And then we need now to extract product data. So we'll say product elements equals to await and say page dot query selector. We want to select all, and then our selector will still remain the article dot PRD. Remember, the article is our element name and the PRD is our class name. Now we loop through the products in product elements. Okay, so it will capture all those products. Now let's move those loop through those products and then append them to the product list. So we'll say for product in product elements, and then we are going to use try and except block. So we say try. For now, let's have pass, and then let's have exception as E. And then we want to print something if there is an exception. So we'll say F and say error extracting product data. Then we need to pass in that exception, and then we skip this product and continue to the next one. So we will use continue. Okay, now let's go back, try. So we are going to grab 3 things. We are going to grab the title of the product, we are going to grab the price, we are going to grab the discount, the link of the product, and the image link. Okay, so those are the 1 2 3 4 5 6. Those are 5 elements that we are going to grab as our data. So our header will be title, price, discount, and link, and image. Okay, so let's start with the title element. where we'll get the query selector. From it, I will show you how to get this. So we start with title element, and then we say await, say product dot query set, not query set, query selector. Okay, we need to get that selector, so we'll go back to our site. So here we want to get the query selector of the title. Okay, so I'm going to use this so that when I click, this is our title. So when I click this title, you can see it gives me, it is under class info and h3 class name. You can see the name of the phone is Huawei 9 2019, smartphone 6.5 inches. So you can see the class is name. So this is the class that we are going to grab. So we go back here. Our query selector will be the name of the class. So the name of the class is dot name. Okay, this is how we get the class name. When you start with the period, means the class name, and then the name of that class is name. We do the same for price element. Say price element. So we say await product dot query set, query, not query set, query selector. Yeah, this is the effect of using query sets in Django. So we have this price element. We are going to use the same technique. Go back to our site and then click here and then go to the price. You can see the price here. When you hover it, you can see the price. You can click it so that it can take you to the price. You can see we are on the price, which is 9,200, and then we have the class is price. We have the class price, so we are going to grab that. So here we'll say dot prc. We do the same for discount element. So discount element, and then we go await, say product dot query selector. Query selector, we do the same. We go back to our site and then click here and go to the discount, this one which is crossed. Click on it and then you will be able to see the class. And then we have the class old, we have the PRC. Okay, so we do the same for that. So go back here, we will say BDG discount will be, okay, let me confirm this. So we want to get this discount, so it will be BDG. So you can BDG, and then I think these are double score under. Yes, this will be underscore DS discount. So we want to grab this class, this one, this class BDG. So you go back here and say dot BDG dot underscore DSCT. So that was the class name. And then let's get the image element. So we say image element. We do the same. We say await product dot query set, not query set, query selector. So query selector, and then we go to the site and click here and then click on the image. You will see the image. We have the class image. Let me here. We have the class img. Okay, so it is image dot img. Okay, so we go back to our code editor and say our class is img dot image img. Okay, so we have grabbed all the elements that we need from the site. Now we need to use inner text to grab the content between those classes. So we go back. Let's start with the title. We say title equals to await. So we say title element dot, we are going to use inner text so that we can get the content. And then we say if title element, and if there is nothing else, we have an A. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and paste it below it so that we can move so fast. So we have title, the second one will be price. We do the same for the price, and here will be price element. Say price element, get inner text, and then here will be price element. And then below that I will paste again, and then here we will have discount. So discount, and then we will have discount element. Use the inner text, discount element. Okay, and here will be discount element. And then below that we will have, for here, if there is no discount, we want to say no discount. Then below that, let me do this, and then it it will be image. So this will be image, and then we will have here we want to get the attribute, so we are not going to use inner text since it is a link. So we'll say title element, we can say get attribute, and then the attribute with will be src. Remember the image where it is being added is inside the src, and then here we'll say image link, image element, and here will be image element. So why it is not working? We have the image element. Let me copy this, then paste it here, image element dot get attribute. Okay, then copy this as well. Okay, element. There is one thing that we are about to forget. So we also want to grab the link of that project or of that product. So let's add a link element. So we'll say link element equals to, we say await product dot query selector, not dot, should be product dot query selector. And then let's get our query selector. Let's go back to the site so we can go up. You can see we have the link here. Okay, the link of the product, you can see it is a, and then we have the class core. Okay, so we are going to say our query selector will be a dot core. So go back here and say a dot core. Okay, and then right below the discount, we want to add that link. So we say link equals to await link element. Okay, this should be element, and this as well dot. We are going to get as well this as a attribute. So we say get attributes, and then we are targeting attribute href. Okay, and here we say if link element, else we say not applicable. So once we get all these information that we want, now we have grabbed the information itself, we have grabbed the title, we have grabbed the price, discount, the link, and the image link. Now let's append these products to the product list. So we'll say products dot append, and then we are appending it in form of a dictionary. So remember we had initialized an empty list. Now we are adding those products into that product list. So we'll say first thing we want to append is the title of the product, and then the value will be the title. We want to append the price first, second to be the price as our key, and then the value will be the price. And then we want to append the discount, and then our value will be discount. Then we want to append the link of the product, and then the link of the product we want to format it so that it can be accessible. First, it will have to be at Jumia, so https, and we say www.jumia.co.ke. so we are getting the entire link, and then we pass in the link, and then lastly we want to get the image, so we say image as our key, and value will be image. So we have appended all the products to our list. Now we need to navigate through pages. Okay, so we need to navigate through the pages, various pages. Now after that, so here we need to check if there is a next page. So to do that, we'll say next button equals to await page dot query selector. We also need to go and check that query selector. So let's go back to our site. Let's go back to pagination. So here is our pagination. So let us click so that we can get the query set. So you can see it is here, and now let's click this. Let's check the query selector. So let me open this. Let's check on this. This one says next. So first page we have area label. Let's see for the next page. Yeah, we have area label. So for the next page, you can see we have class PG, and then we have a link which is anchor tag, that is a tag, And then we have the href, and as well we have the class pg. We have area label next page. So what we need here, we need to get this anchor tag and then area label. Okay, so basically what we will do here, our query selector will be a, and then we grab the area label, and then we say area label equals to next page. Okay, so that will be our query selector for the next button. So we also need to check if there is no next button, and we exit if there is no next button. So we say if not next button, if not next button, we want to exit. Okay, so we will use break, and if there is a next button, we need to go to the next page. So we'll say await next button dot click it. Okay, we want to click that next page, and then we wait for the next page to load. So to do that, we say await page dot wait for selector, not wait for selector. Yes, wait for the selector, and then remember our selector is the entire product card. So we say article dot prd. Okay, once it has loaded, now we close, we scrape data in multiple pages by incrementing the number of pages until we reach the max pages that we had defined. So we say page number, we increment by 1, and then once we have reached the max pages, so for example here we have defined five maximum pages to be scrubbed. So once we have reached that 5, this number reaches 5, we need to close the browser. So we say await browser dot close. Okay, so that we can close that browser. So now the next step that we need to do is saving the data to a file. Okay, so remember we have two file formats that we are going to use to save. We have CSV and we have JSON. So we are going to have those two formats covered. So we need to start with the CSV. So we'll say if output format. Remember we had said our output format here, a default one CSV, but now we have two output formats. So we want to say if output format equals to CSV is equivalent to CSV, then we need to say with, and then we say open. Let's format the name of the CSV file. The name of CSV file we want is to have the query, that search term, and then it has hyphen and say products.csv. So here what I'm trying to say is we want the file to be saved in this manner. For example, if we searched for Huawei phones, let's say our search term was Huawei, we want the file to be saved Huawei products.csv. Okay, that is why we have formatted and included the search term at the first, and then products.csv. And then we give it permission to write, and then we, okay, here is a comma, and then here we will have a new line. Say new line equals to an empty string, and then let's define our encoding. Say encoding equals to UTF-8. Remember we are opening this as file, and then now let's define our header and the rows. Okay, so we'll say writer equals to csv dot dict writer, and then we pass in our file, and then let's now pass in the fields that we want to be shown in our file. So we say field names equals to, it's a list. We want to start with the title, and then we want to have the price, we want to have discount. Remember these files that we had append. These ones are the ones that we are passing in here. So we have discount, then we have the link, and then lastly we have the image. Okay, so after we do this, we need to define our header. So this will be our header. So we'll say writer, not writer, it is writer, yes, writer dot write header. So this will be our header, so write header. And then we need to define the rows. So we say writer dot write rows, writer dot write rows. Our rows now will pass in the products, so products. Okay, so we have our header, and then inside this header we'll pass in the products. Remember, the products will have the title, so these will be our columns: title, price, discount, link, image. These will be our columns, and then our rows will be the products, which will have title, price, discount, link, image to match the columns. Okay, now let's work on JSON file. So we'll say elif output format equals to JSON. So we are going to do the same. So let me open these. Let me copy these, and then paste it here. So it will be with open, and then the query name product.json. Now this will be JSON. Remember, we are saving it in JSON file. So this will be JSON, and then the encoding. Let's remove the new line. Doesn't have the new line. So we'll have encoding UTF-8 as file. And then we want to dump all the products inside and then define our indentation. So we say json.dump, say products, and then we'll have the file, and then let's have indentation. So indentation, ident to be 4 spaces. Once we have done that, we need to print something out. So we'll say print, and then let's format this and say script. Then let's have the length of the products. So we say ln products. So it will give us the number of products that it has scraped, and say products dot data saved to, then we say query products. It will be query products dot output format. Now we pass in the output format. Okay, so that is it now. And then now we need to run these. Let's handle this except. So here we will have exception as e, and then we will have print. Let's have print e. Okay, now let's run the scraper. So for example, let's run the scraper. So we'll use async.io dot run, and then we call in our scraper function. We say scrape junior was our function, and then we need to pass in those 3 parameters. The first one was the query. So here we can pass in any search term. For example, we want to search for gas cooker, and then we want to define the output format. So output format equals to, first let's start with CSV, and then we want to pass in the max pages. Say max pages, let's have 5 of them. Okay, now this is the function. This is the scraper script that will scrape maximum of 5 pages from Jumia website. So now let's run this and see how it works. So I will click here. You can see the terminal has started. Let's wait. It has opened the browser, and have a look on the search bar. It has populated the search term that we wanted, gas cooker. It is scraping the first page, scraped 40 products, scraping page 1. Okay, we want it to scrape more than those pages. Something is not working properly. Let's see on the next page. Next page is right here. Area label. Next page. Okay, there is issue here. I misspelled the page, so it should be next page. That is why it is scraped only one page, and we want it to scrape maximum of 5 pages. So let me rerun this. It opens the window, the browser, and then populates the gas cooker as our search term, then scrapes first page, moves to the second page. You can see under the pagination here, we are on the second page. Once it's done, it will move to the 3rd page. You can see it has moved to the 3rd page. Once that's done, it will move to 4th page, and then once it will be done with that, it will move to the 5th page. And if we go back to our terminal, you can see scraping 4th page, and then scraping the last page, which is page 5. Okay, so you can see scraped 160 products, data saved to gas cooker products.csv. So if we go here, you can see the CSV, we have it. So if I run, you can see we have that CSV. We have the title, price, discount, link, image. The same, the title, price, there is no discount for this, and then the price, we have the link of that product, and then at the end we have the image link. Okay, So let's now try to scrape and then dump it to a JSON file. So here I will change from CSV to JSON. Okay, and then run it again and see how it works. The same thing, it opens the browser, populates the unable to element of different documents, output JSON. So there is, okay, let's now search different thing. So let's say Huawei. Let's try and see page query selector all unable to adopt element handle from different document. Huawei, let's try so that we can figure out. Okay, populates the search term Huawei and then starts scraping. Page 1 done, page 2 on page 2 now. Let's wait a second. Done. Moves to page 3. Wait for a second. If we go back to our terminal, you can see we are on page 4, and if we go to here, we are on page, okay, we are on page 5 now. Okay, so here you can see we are on page 5 and scraped 160 product, the same as JSON file, and dumped in on Huawei products.json. So if we open these Huawei products, you can see we have all those 160 products. We have the title, price, discount, link, and image link. Okay, so we have all those, you can see clearly. So that is it for this video, guys. This is the scraper. You can try to scrape using the same technique on other websites. Caution, remember to respect the robot.txt so that you don't find yourself scraping unauthorized websites. So you can experiment with different search terms, or you can try scraping other websites. So that is it for this video. So we have a fully functional Jumia web scraper. You can scrape as many pages as you wish. You can change this number. You can as well change the query term so that you can scrape different products. So that is it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on my future videos. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.